Hello everyone and welcome to the next episode of Outside of Life, where I chat with inspiring artists 5 days a week. My name is Eva and my guest today is Sarah Amijo, and we chat about how she switched from accounting to art and her cute brand Big Bear and the Bird.
So my vision is to deliver my illustration, the cute illustrations that are meant to celebrate life and to encourage one another.
Sarah is a founder of Big Bear and Bird store based in Jakarta, Indonesia. She received her degree in business accounting. However, after working as an accountant for 2 years, she decided to follow her passion in art and graduated with Masters of Fine Art in Illustration in LA. Her aim is to create one-of-a-kind illustrations and exquisitely unique design ideas on paper and on other mediums. Character illustration is her signature plate, but she also loves creating personalized, handcrafted projects like gifts, party decorations, and also personal collections. She released her first book, Journal of a Gratitude, in September 2017. So please welcome Sarah Amijo from Big Bear and a Bird, and let's get to the interview. Welcome everyone to the next episode of Outside of Life, and I am super excited to have Sarah here. Hi, welcome.
Hi!
And let's start with your background, and I would like to know, what was your creative outlet when you were a kid?
Creative outlets. I don't really draw when I was a kid. I prefer to playing cooking, but when I grow older, I don't cook at all and I paint.
So you were doing some like creative cooking, cutting of like different shapes when you were a kid?
Yeah, I cut leaves. I use soil to make coffee, yeah, that kind. But
perfect.
I didn't really paint when I was little. I started to paint when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
so which were kind of your biggest decisions you had to do in order to follow your artistic passion?
It was a big decision for me because my background was actually in business accounting. My undergraduate, I graduated from business accounting, and then I worked as an accountant for 2 years after I graduated, and then after that 2 years, I feel that it wasn't my passion, so I quit my job and I decided to go back to school and take the master program in art.
Oh wow!
So that was that was my big decision.
Oh, perfect. And so, did you have like a mentor or someone who inspired you to do this?
Yes. Back in my university, when I was still in business school, so I took a lot of summer classes that were not related to business classes. So I took art, I took, all art related classes, and I met this teacher. His name is Larry Johnson, and he was the one who introduced me to illustrations, and he was the one who told me what illustration is. Before, I don't know what is illustration. So after that, he was the one who pushed me to apply for the graduate program, master program, and so I did. And then during the master programs, I met a lot of other professors, and one of them is Christian Hill, and he also had a background of finance, business major, and then he also made a big decision to follow his passion in art. So I was really encouraged by them.
Oh, perfect.
And I'm still in touch with them too.
Yeah, so that it's really nice to have someone you can see like, okay, this is where I can get to, when I will work hard and do everything what I can. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
And what was your best advice you ever received?
The best advice would be from the Christian Hill. He said, when you decided to draw as a profession, you can't draw only when you feel like it. Most artists, they have to depend on their mood. But when it is your profession, you can't do that. And he also told me to be wise with my spending and finances, because income as an artist is not always stable. So having the background in accounting, it helps me immensely.
Yeah, Yeah, definitely. Because a lot of artists have this issue about like, oh, now I have to run my own business, which they didn't expect it.
Yeah.
Eh,
And but the worst advice, I don't really remember what's the worst advices that I've been told, because when it's not good, I just erase it from my memory. So
And or
yeah.
maybe do you see like these like bad advice or worst advice to give or other people give to young artists around you?
Bad advice. I think the one that's stuck in my head is like the first one that I told you. Just a lot of artists have to depend on their mood.
Mm,
So a lot of
yes.
artists said, it's not my mood to do that. So the painting turns out really bad. Well, you can't really pain depend on your mood. So yeah, that's the worst advice. So because
Definitely.
I followed that advice before and end up I didn't paint at all in 1 month.
Okay, that's not good.
Not good.
And now you have such an amazing brand and all such a cute illustrations. And so I would be interested in how did you come up with the branding? And so what does it mean, the bird and the bear? And what is your vision always like going through your creations?
Okay. The vision or mission behind this is actually I noticed that a lot of people are too caught up with their busy lives. You know
Hmm.
how life nowadays, and people are sometimes too shy or too busy again to express feelings to each other. So my vision is to deliver my illustration, the cute illustrations that are meant to celebrate life and to encourage one another. So I post a lot of pictures with a quote underneath, a lot of encouraging quotes for people to just read. And I do a lot of cute expressions, characters, just to make people happy, and for people to connect to each other from my product as a gift. While the big bear and bird itself, it's actually based on my personal characters. So actually, the bear is the introverted kind of animal. In this story, the bear is the introverted, and he loves to be alone when he paint. At the same time, he also needs the second character, which is the bird, who is more extroverted, who loves to
Hmm.
spread the word of love using the bear's artworks. So it's also a self reminder for myself to have a balanced character and life.
Oh,
But the
perfect.
bear, actually, the bear and bird doesn't have unisex, so I don't know whether he or she.
Oh, but nice. But it's super cool to balance both sides because you still need to be creative and calm and just do stuff. And then you have to promote yourself as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, nice. And so, what is your biggest inspiration when you are creating your artworks or just running your business?
My biggest inspiration. I read a lot about other artists.
Hmm.
I also um, do a lot of research in Instagram, seeing other artists, how their style looks like. Sometimes like you get bored with your own style. So you need to see other styles, but that doesn't mean that you have to change your style, but you have to keep improvising your technique and style.
Yeah, yeah. And do you have something strange which inspires you as well?
Yes. When I'm in a shower, there is a marble wall in front of me, or I mean, in my bathroom, there's a lot of marble walls around or on the floor. So I get a lot of inspirations from there because when I, like, staring at the wall or on the floor with the weird marble shapes, sometimes certain shapes become another shapes, like become animal or become a weird object. So yeah.
Oh yeah, that's perfect because actually
So
I also did this kind of workshop which we had to walk around the town and we had to find faces in a different objects like either
yeah,
windows and doors or patterns and
yeah, it's fun.
so it's actually interesting exercise for everyone just to try.
Yeah, 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 true. Sometimes you don't really think, is that a dragon holding an ice cream? And then you just draw a dragon holding an ice cream or something,
Yeah, yeah,
I
but
don't
that's
know.
perfect. Yeah, yeah. So everyone just try to go out and see some things which are maybe not there, but maybe they will be there in your
Yeah,
illustrations afterwards.
or clouds too.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And so, if someone would want to do what you do now, what would you like advise them to start with? Maybe which are the mediums you're using now, and maybe what you started with.
Um, when I started, I just start with watercolor, paper, and iPhone. So I would suggest for people who want to start, maybe you can start posting your artwork, but try to post something that is unified or something that represents you. Because if you have a coherent style, people will follow you and people will remember you of that specific style. If you don't have a specific style, then maybe you can find one by, like I said, by looking at other artists and recreate your own style until you find the one that best describes you. And maybe make friends with a lot of other artists or designers and invest on your tools. That's
Yeah.
all.
Do you have like a favorite pen or favorite brand of watercolors now?
Yes, I'm in love with Winsor and Newton. I've been using Winsor of Newton since like 10 years till now, and I use all the brushes and all the watercolor from Winsor and Newton.
Oh, nice. And do you have a favorite color?
Yes. I love burnt umber. I love all the forest green shades. And what else? Oh, I love pink powder.
Oh, nice. I have to try
Yeah.
them because I don't draw so much traditionally, so I'm just trying to get to it more. So it's actually really interesting to try different colors.
Yeah, I like the muted colors, not the neon colors one.
And so how do you design your day when you are creating your stuff and you have to split also running your business promotion and creating? So how does your normal day look like? And maybe how do you plan like a week or month if you have a planner?
Okay. Yes, I have a planner. I carry them around. So I write everything in my journal and I revise it a lot. So let's say I put my to-do list in every day for every day, and I try to keep track on the list, and I make sure I completed all the list in that day. If not, I will draw like an arrow. Let's say this is a Wednesday. If it's not checked, I will draw an arrow to the next day. And then if it's not done, I will draw another arrow to the next day. So I can see, oh wow, I've been postponing a lot of stuff. So that will keep me on track. And I would say I paint during the day when the sun is still up. And I will reply emails and do the digital painting in the afternoon when the sun's down.
And the digital painting you do on the like Procreate it or on iPad, or do you have like Cintiq, Wacom, or how do you work digitally?
I use Wacom and I use Photoshop mainly, but the Wacom and watercolor is a different style, but I'm still experimenting with that. And so far, I'm trying to make the digital painting as close as possible to the organic feel of the watercolor work. So far, so good. I'm still learning.
Perfect. And so I would like to know as well, how do you get noticed, or how do you find your new customers, or maybe also new projects, because you do a lot of collaborations as well. So I kind of
Yes.
have two questions, right? So customers and
Okay.
also collaborations.
Okay. The customers, the first customer I get is from Instagram. And then from referrals, but mainly from Instagram because before I got featured in this Instagram that has a lot of followers. Usually they have like a specific hashtags that we have to put in our post. So I got discovered by that. So a lot of people start to email me, and then that's how I got my first job. And then for the collaboration, when you get a lot of followers, people will start looking for you. People will start to want to have a collaboration with you. And then from there, other companies saw that you have collaborate with this company. That makes a good portfolio for them to work with you as well.
Yeah, and so can you share also the Instagram account which shared you, like, or maybe some you would recommend?
Yes, Art We Inspire, very good exposure, and Water Block. And my favorite is Children's Writers Guild.
Okay, good,
Those
good,
three.
good to know. Perfect. Yeah, because sometimes you don't know if they are real accounts and if they have actually like real followers, and so it's really hard to find like a proper
Yeah, but
good
I think
ones.
but every artist has different style, right?
Yes.
So those three that I have mentioned is mostly like Big Bear and Bird style. But if you're more into expressionist or realistic kind of style, then you must find an Instagram account that suits your style. So you will get featured more.
Yeah, definitely. And and now you are doing a different project as well. Can you share something which is exciting now or something which is coming up? Because I saw something about book on Instagram as well.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I'm working on my book, my first book.
Woohoo!
Yay! It is actually written and illustrated by me. I have a book before that someone else wrote. I just illustrated. So this is like completely Big Bear and Bird. So I'm very excited for that. Yay!
Perfect.
It's
And
coming. It's coming next month.
oh, next month. Perfect. Good.
Yes.
So maybe actually, because this interview will be out after September, so it might be
Oh
already
yay!
out. So we can put the link for you, and then people can check it
Oh
out, and
yay!
that will be
Okay,
super nice.
it's
Perfect.
awesome.
And when you are creating new projects or you do the collaborations, how do you choose to do like when do you do like yes and no for the project? Because sometimes you cannot do everything at once. So what
Yeah.
is going on in your head with the decision making?
Trust me, it's very difficult for me to decide which one is which. Um, it took me 2 years to learn that. So, back then I used to take all the jobs that I can because I need the exposure, I need the money. But then at the end, I was very exhausted and overwhelmed. And at the end, the work is, some jobs got postponed because of my greediness. So I learned that I have to pick which one is the most related to my art style because I can use them as my portfolio. And I will pick the ones that have a promising future opportunities and good long-term relationships, and also the ones that fits Big Bear and Bird visions and aesthetic style.
Yeah, definitely. And so, how do you generate money, or what do you live from? Is it mainly from your business, or do you combine with, I don't know, selling art prints or merchandise, or what is your recommendations from your experience? Like, should you put like all eggs in one basket, or kind of like spread the income streams?
The I used to make a wedding album design, but again, I couldn't really use them for my portfolio, so I put that aside, even though the money is pretty good. Right now, I'm focusing more only on Big Bear and Bird by doing custom illustrations. I make a lot of money from the custom illustrations, and the other little things are from the merchandise products that I have. I sell them via Instagram and my website, so that's all.
Oh,
But then,
perfect.
like, you have to keep posting stuff to remind people to buy your stuff. So yeah.
But you can also automate some things, right? If you want to grow and scale your business, is there something you are already automating and like helping your business to grow?
So far not, but I'm planning to use that promote Instagram. I've seen a lot of people do that promote or sponsored Instagram, but I haven't done it yet. I'm planning to do it next year after my book, because this year I'm focusing on my book.
Nice, nice. And do you work
Yeah.
also with other people? Do you have like the remote team or someone who is helping you to write or something?
Yes, I work with one people. She's a graphic designer, and another one's coming soon next month. She's a new admin. The one will be helping me replying emails and stuff. And my husband, who works on my website.
Oh, perfect. Nice. It's nice
Yeah.
to have people around you who help you with the business and kind of progress in the
Yeah.
future.
Well,
Amazing.
I'm grateful for my husband who can make my website for free. You know how expensive website is.
Yeah, yeah. And luckily, he is helping me as well. So I have the
Oh,
same
wow.
at home.
Okay.
And what keeps you motivated? Like what is the kind of the biggest, motivation when you feel like, okay, like I have a down day. And of course, you said as well, like sometimes you have to create even when you don't feel like it. So what do
Yeah.
you do which kind of contributes to your success?
Okay. I believe that everyone will experience that season eventually. Um, for me, if I have a lot of money, I would go travel. But if I don't, I would just go to nearest town with good, sightseeing places. Or I go to galleries. I go to museums. I watch movies or weird movies that I don't usually watch. And I go food hunting. It's my main mood booster. And let's say if I'm really, really stuck, like I can't think of anything, usually I would just take a moment to full rest. I will not force myself, but not too long. Don't take like 1 month off. Um, I would pamper myself with non-related art job. I will go out with non-art related communities. Usually at the end of the day, I will miss painting again, and I will come back to painting with a recharged spirit and mind.
Ah, perfect. Very nice.
Yeah.
And if you think about maybe the most difficult time of your career or kind of like a moment, then maybe what you learned from it, if you can share with our audience, because usually we learn a lot from these experiences.
Yes. It just happened last year. Happened last year. My art got stolen by a pretty big company in here in Indonesia, and around 12 to 20 characters of my characters was made into merchandise. So I went to that store and I saw like the whole store with my illustrations on it.
Oh my God.
Nightmare. Like I literally cried in the store. And what's worse is the stores is, I think they have like hundreds of stores all over Indonesia. So they dispersed everything all over Indonesia and also Singapore.
Wow.
Yeah, but I learned that I started to copywriting my characters. And before that incident happened, I was not really confident with my own artwork. So by seeing that, in a way, it gave me like a better visualization to see how my artworks will look like in a real product. So it actually encouraged me to make my own merchandise line. So I did make my own merchandise line, and I'm still doing it now, and I'm make a living out of it. So, well,
So it was good in bed as well.
good and bad.
Yeah, yeah.
It
But
depends how you look at it, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. But then it kind of encouraged you to continue, and you can see like, oh, this is cool. And so,
Yeah.
how did you approach it afterwards? Did you have to take them to court, or did you just talk to them, or?
Yeah, we tried to contact them a few times. They ignored us for a few days, but then after that, my husband called them, I think, and he told them that that you're stealing art from us. And what's the worst is they actually have contacted us before, so they actually know us.
Yeah.
It's not just random artists that they stole; like they know us. So we told them to take down all the products, and they did, but only on a couple of cities, not all over Indonesia. But yeah.
Okay. Oh well. Oh, good. But now at least like your artworks and your merchandise looks amazing, right? And
Yeah.
and
Thank God.
can you share maybe what were your learnings from starting your own merchandise? Maybe how did you find the materials or production? Did you just walk around the town, or did you search for it online, or how did that work?
I do a lot of research. Yeah, I would call people and meet them and go to their warehouse and see, and then a lot of trial and errors. You meet a lot of vendors, and then it came out that the results is really bad. They're only photogenic in Instagram, but the real one is ugly. So yeah, it's a lot of trials and errors.
So you should go see it in person and see and touch the materials
Yeah.
and products so to see. Perfect, yeah.
Yeah.
And what is something you wish you knew before you started the whole business, like advice you would give to young self?
Um, my advice, or some things that I wish I have learned before, is about copywriting. Because I see that not only me, but a lot of other artists' artworks got stolen. So I wish I knew that earlier. I already bought a lot of books about being illustrators, and I skipped all the licensing chapters because I thought it's not that important. But now I regret it. I should have learned it earlier. And the other thing I should learn is, and I suggest other people to learn, is about creating contracts between you and companies, especially if it will be a collaboration, because there's a lot of like royalty and everything, like copyright, like where you should, sometimes we collab with people, we give the artworks, right? And then they say they're going to print it on, let's say, bags, but at the end they print it on other stuff that they don't share the royalty with us. So that kind of things that you need to
Yeah,
learn.
so you should specify like what you are giving
Yeah.
the rights to, and what is the limitation and everything.
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Good idea. And do you have maybe some recommendation for some books or resources where we can learn something like this, or other books you like?
The books that I would recommend, I have it here. I think the title is Art and, oh wait, I forgot the title, but I will email you. I forgot the title. Oh my god! But it's about find books that says life as an illustrator or life as a designer, and see. Usually they have a lot of lesson on licensing, on creating your own brand, on creating your Instagram, on creating your product line. I think those kind of books really help. And yeah, I would recommend those kind of books. And another book I would recommend is my own book.
Definitely.
Because my book is about being grateful. So in any condition, you should be grateful, because I think that I need to share to the world that if you have a grateful attitude, then it will change your life.
Yeah, and you will be happy, and you can spread the love around. So definitely.
Yeah, grateful is contagious.
Yeah, I agree. And so, do you also maybe have like favorite movies you like? And is there maybe also something which simplifies your life you bought recently, like a tool or a medium?
Okay. I would answer the first question first, the movie. My favorite is Ratatouille. Do you know Ratatouille,
Yeah.
the mouse who can cook? I like it because it encouraged people to trust themselves and, finally achieve what they thought they couldn't do. And the best investment on tools would be my brushes. and that vacuum, it saves my life. And I think, yeah, just those two. Oh, a very good scanner.
Oh yeah, okay. So what do you have? Like, oh, because I don't think we mentioned what type of vacuum also you have. Is it a Cintiq or Intuos or?
The Cintiq. I have the Cintiq.
Ah, okay. So like the 13,
Yeah.
22, or which one do you prefer?
What
like,
is that? Oh, the big one.
So I guess it's like the 22 or 24, so the bigger one. Yeah.
My husband is that kind of tools guy, so he just gave me as a birthday present. So I'm like, oh, this is cool, and I don't even know what's the type. I just know it's vacuum Cintiq.
Oh, perfect. And then also you just mentioned, what did we mention? The scanner. So what scanner do you have? Do you know?
I'm using Epson 370. It's really good.
Okay.
You can scan it up to 1,200 pixels DPI.
Oh,
so
wow, that's really nice. Yeah. Yeah, because it's nice to have also like scanner and also a printer at home if you want to, produce or try out your artworks, how they will look.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about the future. And if you have some dream scenario in mind already, like 5 to 10 years, like what would you be doing? And everything goes according to plan and what you want.
It sounds funny maybe, but I want to have my own physical store.
Nice.
And with Big Bear and Bird signage, like huge in front of the store. And I also want to have Bear and Bird costume for little kids, like the Halloween costumes, like Elmo costumes, but this one is
so cute.
bear and a bird, and those little kids will be, proud to wear them around. That was my dream. It sounds silly, but I don't know. It makes me happy to see someone else wearing costumes of Big Bear and Bird.
Oh yeah, you can have maybe also theme parties, like if someone has a birthday, they can have a, not like a Disney birthday party, but a Bird and Bear birthday party.
Yeah.
Perfect. Very nice. And if you think about like really far in the future, I would like to know, what would you like to be remembered for in like 100 years?
For 100 years, I probably already died. I want to be like remembered as the creator of Big Bear, Bird, and Friends. Like A.A. Milne, the one who created Winnie the Pooh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to be like him.
Oh, super nice. And I'm super happy that you took time off and joined us here for our audience to share your inspiration and tips. It was my pleasure.
It was good too.
So thank you again. And before we say goodbye, maybe you can share the last piece of advice or a key takeaway, and then we say goodbye.
The advice would be, as long as you're doing your job with passion, it's not a job. And always be grateful for everything that you have achieved and everything that makes you down, because you can always learn from anything, and it makes you a better person.
Oh, yeah. Perfect. And do you have a favorite quote maybe as well?
Yes. Blessed to be a blessing.
Amazing. Perfect. So thank you again so much for being here, and thanks everyone for joining, and see you in the next episode.
Thank you. Bye.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and let me know in comments. Also, please subscribe to my channel for more videos, because I post new interview every single workday. You can also find the resources mentioned in this episode at artsideoflife.com. Just type a guest name in the search bar. There is also a little freebie waiting for you, so go check it out. If you want to listen to the interviews on the go, make sure to check out the podcast episodes at artsideoflife.com/podcast. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and don't forget to inspire each other. I will see you guys in the next episode.